Hi, this is Bowen Rise. Today I'm going to be giving a persuasive speech about organ donation. Amit Abraham, founder and president of a registered health organization, once said, if when I die, if I'm buried, I will rot. If I am burnt, I will turn to ash. But if my body is donated, I will live to give others life and happiness. Live life after death. Pledge to donate your body. Currently, there are 169 million organ donors in the U.S. People who have pledged to donate their organs after death. Why have they made this decision? How does it benefit them? The answer is nothing but happiness and the satisfaction of knowing that after they die, they can help to save someone else's life. This generous act saves thousands of lives each year. More than 113,000 people in the U.S. alone are waiting to receive a transplant so they can go back to living a normal life. A single donor can save up to 8 lives with a donation. If you would like to save lives after your own is ended, pledge to become an organ donor. Today I'll be informing you of what an organ donor is, or what organ donation is, why you should become an organ donor, and then I'll talk about some specific organ donors' stories. There are 106,000 people on the national transplantation waiting list. These people might require hearts, kidneys, etc. Every day several people die because they don't receive these transplants. So, there's really no issue with becoming an organ donor because there's no cost to you. There's nothing, it's at no detriment to your health or monetary. You can just sign up for it. When you go to the DMV and get your new license, you can just tell them that you want to become an organ donor, and they'll do it. And then you could save other lives when your own is ended. Organ donation is a surgical procedure in which a doctor takes tissue or an organ from one patient and transplants it into another's body. Research carried out by R.J. Horton and his brother found that it's very beneficial during the grieving process. Those loved ones of someone who's recently deceased and was an organ donor, it helped them along, aided in their grieving process, because it was a sort of it made them feel better to know that in their loved one's death, they brought life to someone else. According to the American Journal of Transplantation, there was a lady named Amalia. She was spending time with her 4 grandchildren. She was around 86 years old, and she felt a pain in her chest. She went to see some doctors, and they told her that she had heart disease. And Amalia, shortly after that, was put on a transplant waiting list, and within a few months she received a new heart. And she said it felt as if she had been given a new chance at life. There was a man named Carlton. He was a retired teacher, and on his 93rd birthday he signed up to become an organ donor. Shortly after that he died from a brain hemorrhage, and his family assisted in the process of donating his kidney to someone else, and they were saved. They were a 63-year-old woman, and they're in the late stages of liver disease, and they were saved. The 93-year-old man died, and just a few. If he hadn't signed up to be an organ donor, who knows what would have happened to a 63-year-old woman. It makes logical sense, logical and moral sense to become an organ donor. Imagine you're suffering from some debilitating condition, like an extreme pain in your eye, and after a few years, or you can't really take it anymore. So you go to a doctor and they put you on a cornea transplant waiting list. But they also share with you that the chances of you getting that transplant are very low. How would you feel? It's not a good situation to be in. After you hear this hypothetically, you've got to understand the moral and logical sense that being an organ donor makes. To no detriment to your well-being, or at no cost to you. You can save someone else's lives, up to 8 lives, by just becoming an organ donor, by signing a piece of paper, by mentioning it at the DMV when you get your license. I think everyone should become an organ donor, and that's been my persuasive speech. Thank you. This is Colin Rouse. Thank you.